and welcome to Repurpose Live, where we help you to rethink your growth, your wellness, and your purpose. My name is Lissa Figgins, and it's my mission to help women like you to have the health, time, and resources to create a life that you truly love. And it's my intention each and every week to introduce you to an amazing woman who can also help you do that and who also is living repurposed. So today I'm excited to introduce to you Kristi Meenan. I love the fact that at 50 years young, Kristi reinvented herself and turned a job that she needed into a career that she dreamed of. And she is a certified resume writer, a job strategist, and a career coach, as well as a LinkedIn pro. And a few years ago, launched her business called We Write It Now, and has never looked back, but instead is focusing on helping others have a strategy to get their resume at the top of the pile, to tap into that job market, and to really partner with their network to be making connections that will move you forward in your career. So if you are ready to take back your career or your life, then Kristi is someone that you need to meet. So Kristi, thank you so much for being here with us. I know that's just a little, bio about you, but tell us more your story about how you got from what you were doing to what you're doing now.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share this information because, I had a go at it several years ago. And I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. It was very painful.
Mm-hmm.
So several years ago, back in 2016, I was in the middle of a job search. I was massively failing. And I just felt stuck. I had applied to over 100 positions, got only a couple of interviews, never got an offer. I was trying to be a jack of all trades. I had a marketing experience. I had a marketing background. I had a sales background. I had a training background, and I love to write, and I'm pretty good at it, And so what I tried to do is be everything to everybody. And what happened is I presented myself as a jack of all trades, but what that was interpreted as somebody that wasn't focused, that wasn't clear on what they wanted to do. And so, I didn't know if that was the problem, lack of focus. I didn't know if my age was a problem. I did feel like that was something significant. And I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear on what I wanted to do. And so I put the brakes on the job search, and I did some deep digging into asking myself the question, what do I love to do? What fires me up? What gets me out of bed and what keeps me up at night? And how can I make money doing it? And so I did some studying. And once I figured out those three things, I actually was listening to Mel Robbins, who is a huge, huge fan of mine. Not fan of mine. That didn't come out right. I'm a huge fan of hers.
I hope she's a fan of you. She should be.
She doesn't know who I am. But I was listening to her challenge at the beginning of the year, and she challenged us to do something bold. And I thought about it, and I thought, man, why don't I start my own business? That's bold. I knew that I had the marketing background. I knew that I had the writing background. I wasn't afraid of social media, and I thought, I'm 50. Why not? So I did. And that's how We Write It Now was born. So wow. Kind of crazy.
What a fun journey, right? And I think it's interesting because had you not been in that situation where you were getting no answers, where you were knocking on doors and not getting any of the interviews or the offers that you wanted, you wouldn't be where you are today. So oftentimes I think it comes out of when life doesn't look like we think it should, is when we actually finally stop, right? Push the pause button and say, wait, what do I want life to look like? And I love the questions that you ask, because those are ones that we talk about on this show all the time, of just, who am I, right? And really, am I doing what I do because it's just what's in front of me? Is because it's what other people think I should do? Or is it really, truly what I want to do? What difference do you feel like that makes for you, and then for others, when they really get clear on what that is and the difference between just doing something versus doing something they love?
I can tell you the thing that immediately comes to mind is and I mentioned it a minute ago, I am so fired up about what I do. It keeps me up at night because
Mhm.
my brain is constantly thinking, who else can I reach? How can I extend my reach? How can I offer more? How can I do better? And it gets me up in the morning. So I used to dread getting up. And while I'm absolutely not a morning person, I lay there in bed and I get energized thinking about who can I impact today.
Yes.
And I am blessed. I know that's overused, but truly, I am blessed that I get to get paid to help people make a big difference in their life. It so thankful. I'm just so thankful.
Right. And but you took that step. You took that bold step. How many times have we heard someone like Mel Robbins that has said you should do this, right? We've been inspired and we're listening to them and we're thinking, yeah, that's something I should do. I really want to, but what do? We just go back under the covers and get up the next day and do things the way we've always done them. But you actually stopped and really allowed yourself to step out and do something bold. And I think that kind of around this age, that's why I like to, target this to women after 40. I think we really start evaluating, like, do I love what I do? Could I really see myself doing this for the next 10, 15, 20 years? Am I really making the impact that I was here to make? And so I think this is a pivotal time when either we're going through that change in our career, or maybe we've been out of a career for a while and we've been home with kids or doing other things. And so we're thinking about going back in. That was my story. And we're just really evaluating. And it's not just about the money, or it's not just about the title anymore. It's about the significance and what that does for us. So I'm really curious because you're in a great place right now. With so many things happening over the past year that people either by choice or not by choice are
Yeah.
suddenly faced with either needing to make a change or really wanting to make a change, right? Because they're learning, wow, I could maybe work for myself, or wow, I wish I had more time with my kids, or wow, this other person started a business, maybe I could. Like, what have you seen as you've worked with people that are on this path over the past year? Like, what are some of the themes or some of the common things that you're seeing come up as people are contemplating and then, making some career changes or starting businesses and things like that?
Well, you know, I can go two directions. So I can give some tips on people that want to start their own business, but they actually still apply to people that are floundering in their career. Or
Mm,
maybe there's moms out there that they're sending their kids off to college and they're ready to contribute to the professional workforce again, and I wrote a couple here. So let me just real quickly look. Okay, so the first thing, and I talked about this a minute ago, get crystal clear on what you're good at,
mm,
and so if you have to have a conversation with your spouse, your friend, your family, whomever, somebody that you trust, and ask them, tell me 3 or 4 things that I'm really good at. So once you identify those things that you're good at, if you don't want to start a business of your own, but you're trying to find your dream job at 40 or 50, my advice would be to really research all of the roles that are out there,
mm.
because you don't know what you don't know. And in today's workforce, job titles, they evolve, and they just evolve, right? And so because of COVID, there's a whole new chunk of jobs that have been created to
Right.
respond to COVID. So like I wrote a couple of them here. Hold on, let me get them real quick. Okay, so like there's COVID compliance roles. And 3 years ago, those didn't exist.
Exactly.
Plexiglass, right? Everybody is using plexiglass. And so there's all kind of roles that have been created in regards to plexiglass. So plexiglass solutions, manufacturing of plexiglass, sales of plexiglass, implementation of those plexiglass, whatever you call them. Cybersecurity wasn't a thing 5 years ago, or maybe it was, but it wasn't really talked about. And now, cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing industries right now. So going back to what you're good at, you need to spend some time researching roles on Glassdoor, on LinkedIn, on Monster, and don't just go for the traditional titles. So if you have a marketing background, that's great. You can type marketing in the search bar, but I would go further and research, like Google marketing, trending marketing roles, because maybe there's a different title that you're unaware of and you would never think to apply it. And maybe you're the perfect candidate, right? So there's that. And then the second piece of that is if you've identified what you love and you want to monetize it into a business, like what I did, I would research what other people are doing in that same space. And I would reach out to them. I'm the biggest fan of networking and connecting. And that's what I did when I needed to find out what was going on wrong with my job search. I reached out to recruiters, to headhunters, to hiring managers, and I said, can I have 15 or 20 minutes of your time? I'm struggling and I need answers. Can you please help? Now more than ever, people are happy to help. They want to see other people succeed, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's good old fashioned networking, watching a football game, watching whatever, networking happens 24/7. So my advice would be to talk to people that have already had success and pick their brain. There's enough room out there for everybody.
So true. I think collaboration is really a thing that's really, especially in the past year, but last couple of years, really risen to the top because, like you said, there are a lot of people out there doing the same thing we're doing, but there are millions of people out there who need, right, that service.
Yeah.
So we all, bring our own personality to it. We all bring our own, who we are when we're doing that. So somebody may resonate with you and may really want to work with you, but they may resonate with Sally, and really want to work with her. And that's okay, right? That we're there to serve the people that are best for us. So I love that. And I'm a huge proponent of mentorship, whether it's a formal mentorship relationship or something informal. Like sometimes we're just watching people from afar, right? Maybe we don't even have that conversation, but we're just watching. What are they sharing? What are they posting? What kind of language are they using? What kind of, valuable tips are they sharing, right? And just getting some ideas from that. And then that gets things, moving for us and taking that step out. I love that. I love that. That's, there's so many things to think about. And, I think pausing and taking the time to really process that. I know I'm a doer and I would love to just check the box and have it done, but sometimes actually stepping back, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that like people don't want to just stop and, they think they're not moving forward if they're not moving forward, like by stopping a pause to do this? Do you ever find that or, as you're working with people?
I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. It is, if you're not used to pausing, it's super uncomfortable, the whole concept of meditating. I can't sit still for 5 minutes and not think about something. I mean, it's hard. It is a trained discipline, right? But I have found that when I set myself up for success by getting in a spot in my room where there's no distractions, or if I put headphones on to tune the world out, and practice doing that, the things that pop up, your brain is smart, man. So if you just create the environment and the space to allow for the freedom of thoughts to go in and out, you would be amazed at what happens. So
I love that. Sometimes I feel like my best ideas for just life or my business have been when I'm in the shower, I'm washing dishes, or I'm driving, right? And those times when I don't have earbuds in and listening to someone else's podcast, which I still love to do, but just really taking time to be quiet and just give myself space for those thoughts and those ideas to come in. It's amazing, like you said, what comes out when we do that. So that is fantastic. You've got so much. I love just, again, because you've been there, so you can relate to people who are in this situation, so maybe somebody's listening today and they're ready for a change, maybe because, their job was cut, in the past year, or they just are ready for a change, or they're thinking about, kind of stepping out and doing something, on their own. Tell us a little bit about how can somebody get in touch with you? I know you've got something you want to offer to our listeners today.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what those next steps might be for somebody that wants to know more.
Absolutely. So my business again is We Write It Now. You can find me at wewriteitnow.com. I'm also on LinkedIn under Kristi Taylor Meenan, Facebook, Kristi Taylor Meenan. And then the two things that I want to offer the listeners are a resume audit or a LinkedIn audit. And to piggyback on that, LinkedIn is such an underutilized platform. You know this,
Mm.
I know this. It's not just for job seekers. It's a great space to network. And so if
That's how we
you, yeah, exactly. You meet terrific people. You talk to people all over the globe. It's so cool. Like
met.
2 weeks ago, I did a resume audit for a gal that was in the United Kingdom. And it was
Wow.
just cool to get to know somebody from afar. Anyway, so you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to do a resume audit or a LinkedIn audit. Just mention that you saw us here. And I'm happy to do that for somebody. And also, if you have like a hesitancy or nervous about presenting yourself on LinkedIn, I do also offer LinkedIn coaching. I have a basic LinkedIn program, and then I also have one designed specifically for job seekers. So, I mean, don't be afraid to get on a platform if you don't know it. There are plenty of resources out there, and people are pretty patient. So,
Yeah.
the last piece of advice that I have for people that may be floundering, whether it's in their career or considering starting a job or whatever, don't ever feel like it's too late.
Mm.
Just don't, because it's not. It's truly not. Now, is it going to happen overnight? Probably not. I mean, it's taken me a couple of years to build, but if you show up consistently, if you do the right thing, if you help people, and if you be authentic, you're going to do well.
Yes, I absolutely love that, because as we're in this stage of life, there's this whole almost next chapter, for us. And I think that we get to this life after 40 and we really know more about ourselves than we did when we were 20 coming out of college,
For
right? Who knew
sure.
back then what we were
Yeah.
truly good at? We probably were making decisions based on what we thought we were good at, what we saw other people doing. So this is a time to really stop and think, who am I? What am I good at? And what do I want to do to add value to the lives of other people? And so I
Right.
love these kind of conversations, because it helps us to be repurposed, right? And say,
Yeah.
I can take these experiences, I can take these strengths, I can take these things that have been a part of who I am over, the years, and repurpose them in a different way that really fires you up. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing. What we will do, if you're listening, and you're that person who would love to, connect with Kristi, or take advantage of her free audit, you guys, that is amazing right there. Or get some training for LinkedIn. We'll put the links in the notes, so that way you can go there and just directly click on them to go and connect with her. And I would just say, also at this time in life, be open to new opportunities. For me, I was a teacher, and that's all I knew. My parents were teachers, my grandparents were teachers. So of course I did that thinking it was the perfect mom job. And when I was thinking about going back into the workforce, I just wasn't really excited about giving control over to somebody else of what my whole day looked like, and my priorities, and what my mind would be thinking about all day. And so I was open to an opportunity of an online business, and I was not looking for that at all, but it was just interesting how it has been exactly what I needed, and I didn't even know it. So I will put a link down in the comments as well, just to an online business guide of just some things to consider, if you're open to that opportunity and what that could look like for you. Because I feel like like you said, there's so many options out there. And if we don't take the time to really look into them, how would we know,
Right.
and what could we miss out on? So thank you, Kristi. I feel like this is so timely. If you are listening today, this may be for you, but you know what? Chances are somebody that probably right now you're thinking, I need to send this to them. So please tag them, share this with them, send it to them, because the more people we can help to do the things that they're truly called to do and to create a life they love, I truly believe the happier we're going to be and the bigger difference that we are going to make. Right, Kristi?
A million yeses.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is true. No matter what time of life this is for you, you can live repurposed. Just keep rethinking your priorities of growth and wellness and purpose, and take advantage of great resources like this and create a life that you love. So thank you so much, Kristi. Thank you everyone for
Thank
joining us
you.
today. Look forward to what the fruit that will come out of this conversation. So until next time, see you soon.